Hi, welcome to Rebirth Radio. Today I have something I think will be a lot of fun planned for a boring quarantine. So today I have brought along a very, very good friend of mine, and his name is Baby Vigo.
Yes, hello. My name is Baby Vigo, and to help myself become reborn, I make music. So, yeah, that's cool.
So today I have invited him to play checkers with me, and if you don't know how to play checkers, well, you're in luck because we're also going to teach you how to play checkers. And I'm not very good at explaining this one because I have not played it in many, many years.
That's
But
why he invited me.
yes, so I will have him explain the rules. But checkers is a very fun game. It's very calming, and it's a strategy game. You have to use a lot of strategy. And I remember when I was a kid, I was pretty good at it. I would play with my grandfather, and we used to have a lot of fun. But now I am older, and I no longer get to play it with him. He's not dead. I just don't get to. But I think it is time that we get those rules. So, Baby Vigo, would you take it away, please?
I wouldn't say they're really rules, they're just friendly reminders. Reminders of people of how to play. So this is basically what you got. You got a board with a bunch of black and white or black and green or red and black or whatever squares. You got 24 pieces and you got 12 on one side and 12 on the other. Depending on which side you're on, what you have to do is move your pieces up. They're only allowed to go in one direction. They're only allowed to go up. You got two goals in this game. You got to go from one end of the board to the other end of the board. Once you get to the other end of the board, you become king, which means you could go either up or down. You're only allowed to go diagonally, so you aren't allowed to go left or right, but you're able to go up or down diagonally, whichever way you want. And what you're also able to do is jump players, because when you jump a player, they're out of the game. That removes one of your pieces, and the end goal is to try to remove all of the opponent's pieces, and if you're able to do that, then you win the game. Although the other player can also jump over you and stuff, so it's best to watch out. This is where the strategy comes in. You gotta make sure you don't get jumped, and you gotta find ways to confuse the other player and jump them. You're also allowed to double jump, like if you jump over a player and then there's another player that you can jump. It's easier to play it and show you than to explain, but yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know.
That was an amazing explanation. So, to demonstrate these things, we will now begin a game of checkers. So, I am red, and Baby
I
Vigo,
am white.
yes. So, let's kick it off. There we go. There's our first move.
See, he's only allowed to go down on the board, and my pieces are only allowed to go up like that.
Yes. And one very good thing for strategy is to make sure you have a piece behind a piece because when you jump, you can jump over, but not if there's a piece there. And it tells you that you can't do that. So let's not do that because that's kind of scary. There we go. So, how is everybody? Baby Vigo, how are you?
I'm doing good, you know, just playing checkers and stuff.
Sounds very calming. This series is called Calming Competitions, if you would like to know, because they're not supposed to stress you out. It's just supposed to be a nice, calming competition. See there?
W-
I captured a piece.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty much what happens.
yes,
Now one of my pieces are out of the game, although I'm also able to jump pieces,
so it's a lot of back
as
and
you just
forth.
saw.
It's basically back and forth banter, and you have to make sure you don't move the wrong piece. But there's also double jumping, not like in a video game, but this type of double jumping, you can jump over one piece and then jump over another piece right afterwards.
Which, if we don't get to show you it, you could probably find a playthrough of checkers on YouTube that has that. I don't know, but yeah, if we somehow don't get to show you what that is, then yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yes, it is very cool. It's a very fun move, and it really gets you when you use it. It really gets the opponent. Okay, now this is where the fun begins. So you see, my pieces become very close to the other side of the board. Now, if I can get it over there, if I can get it all the way up to the top, I will then succeed in attaining a king. And kings can move in any direction, one space, but they can also go backwards, which makes them very powerful.
Because as you all know, when you're king, you get to do pretty much anything you want, so it kind of relates.
But because you can do whatever you want, it never really means you should. Having the ability to do something does not make it okay to do.
Because kings can still get jumped.
Yes, making mistakes is a thing that will always happen in life. But you can avoid mistakes by making sure you think through everything that you do before you do it. Yes. Alrighty, so hmm, I think that's a worthy move.
Now, just so Patrick, Rebirth Radio can, whatever he wants me to call him, can give you an example of what exactly a king is.
Ah, thank you very much. So this right here is a king. So usually if you were playing on a board, you would have your checker pieces and you would actually take one of your most likely missing pieces, one of your captured pieces, and you would put it on top of the other piece. So then you would know that it's a king. And see, as we said, these pieces cannot go back. But the king can go back like that. There's another captured piece for me. And what we want to do is if we were to move this piece down here at this space 2, it would become very difficult to save the piece if he moved down again. So one of the great moves that I now get to demonstrate for you is the double jump. 1, and then 2, and then 3, a triple jump.
That's a triple jump.
Wow, all the way up to a king. So now I have 2 kings. You can have as many kings as you would like on the board at once. As many kings as you can get on the board. Because it's not always given to you as it was here.
That's just luck.
The world runs on strategy and luck. But luck is merely strategy without a plan. If that makes any sense.
Hey, if it does to me, I'm sure it will make sense to them.
I hope it does. Now I know this quarantine is very boring, which is why I am going to put together a few things over the next few weeks to try and help you um, just have some fun things to do, like play checkers with somebody. I will also put a link to this website because it's a thing where you can play with your friends online when they're away and when you're away. It's very, very nice. Hmm, very nice move. And as Baby Vigo said earlier, you play until your opponent or your pieces are all captured.
And so far, Rebirth is winning.
With 6 pieces captured and 3 pieces lost.
Alright, see, here is something interesting about checkers. There are some things you gotta think about. Like, for example, this piece right here, the one on number 17, it's right here. So if I stayed here, this piece would be able to jump over here. But if I went up here, this piece would be able to jump me. That's a little thing called decisions. Would I rather be jumped here or here?
And some of it is a sacrifice play. And nobody ever wants to make the hard decision to sacrifice something, but sometimes it has to be done, and it's never fun. But here, it's a nice game of checkers, and these pieces are not living, so you can do whatever you would like with them.
I'm just gonna move this one here and well, like we said, the thing about mistakes, they happen.
That was very interesting. I didn't move that. It automatically moved those pieces. The interesting thing about the kings is the kings, when they get behind you, you can't turn around to get them unless you are another king. So when they come for you, it's really pretty scary. I must say myself.
Going back to the risks thing, as I was saying, I could just move this piece up, but then this piece will get jumped by the king. But if I moved it here, it'll be jumped there. I mean, I want to get a king too, so I'm just gonna move here and let that right one get jumped by the king.
There's one jump.
And I finally got a king.
But at what cost?
Yeah, that's another thing. Good things can happen, but like we were saying, sacrifices, they do tend to happen. Something good can happen, but at what cost exactly?
And sometimes the sacrifice play is the play that is needed. Oh,
Checkers can get pretty hard. The last time we played this version of checkers, actually, this just shows how good we are. We were just moving our pieces around the board, trying not to get jumped, and it took so long that we actually had to call a draw. So if you ever get in that situation, just call a draw. Sometimes there's not a winner or a loser.
yes. Some that's why over here you see the trifecta, because I had pieces in a bit of a pyramid that I was just moving around and we weren't getting anywhere.
If you want an example, look at pieces 3, 8, and 4. That's a trifecta.
Yes. And with the trifecta, you can keep them all moving without risking any because there's one piece behind them at all times. But if you break the trifecta,
Like that.
then the pieces become at risk. That's why you have to work together with others. And then sometimes things just happen. Now, although it is very much so possible for Baby Vigo to recover from this, one piece can, if your strategy is good enough, fix the entire game. But it is very, very difficult, which means that Baby Vigo must work very hard and think a lot.
Yeah, I must. One of it might be this game has a glitch because I'm trying to move the piece at number 16, but the game's like, oh no, you gotta move your king piece. Maybe there's a reason for that, but oh.
I think it's because this piece has no available spaces to move.
Or maybe it's because of that.
And
But then
now,
again,
at what cost?
and as you can see, Rebirth just won.
Yes. So let's see, what does this say? Chess is what you see, checkers is what you know. There's enough in either game to last a man a lifetime. Very interesting words. So, this was checkers, and it's a very simple game, a very fun game, but also a very calming game. And it's a nice game with
Yeah,
friends. As you can see, I can
Good game.
GG my friend because it was a good game. And
sure was.
we have about, I believe it is 3 other games that we will play to teach you how to play and for us to hang out because this quarantine is getting quite boring, but it's good for us because it's much safer. So, thank you for watching. Thank you to Baby Vigo for playing checkers with me.
Anytime.
And I guess as I always end it, Ami Tohu.